Okay, we're going to multiply two fractions. So we're going to multiply 9/10 times 2/3. So there's really two ways to solve this problem. I'm going to show you the way that I like to solve it. So the way that I like to first solve it is I like to cross simplify. And it just makes solving the problem a little bit easier. So when I say we're going to cross simplify, it means that I'm going to look at these numbers in the cross. So remember, to simplify, you need to find a common factor. And remember, a factor is when you multiply two numbers and it gives you that particular product. So for example, we're looking at 2, and there's only one factor that goes into 2, which is 2 times 1. It's a prime number. Next, I'm going to look at the factors of 10. So 10 has a few more. It has 10 times 1 and 5 times 2. So those are the factors of 10. So what we're going to be looking for is the common factor. So as you can see, 2 is the common factor because it goes into both. So in order to simplify this, we're going to divide by the common factor. So that's really what you're doing. You divide by the common factor. So for example, I'm going to divide 2 by 2, and then I'm going to divide 10 by 2 as well. So if you think about it, 2 divided by 2, that gives you 1. 10 divided by 2 gives you 5. So we just simplified our cross in our cross. Next, I'm going to look at the next cross, which is these. And I'm going to see, can those also simplify by finding the common factor? So again, I'm thinking about 3, and the factors of 3 is 3 times 1, because again, it's prime. The factors of 9 are 9 times 1 and 3 times 3. So again, I'm finding the common factor. So if you can see that 3 goes into both of those numbers. So again, we're going to divide by that common factor, which is 3. So I'm going to divide this by 3, and I'm going to divide this by 3. So when you do that, that becomes a 1, and that becomes now a 3. So now, as you can see, I have a new problem. I have 3/5 times 1 over 1 after I cross simplified. And so the next step is you multiply across. So what I mean by that is we're going to multiply straight across like that. So again, I'm going to do 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. So our final step, I always like to double check to make sure my answer is completely simplified. So always think of that as your last step. And so I know this is simplified all the way because 3 is prime, which means only 3 times 1 goes into 3. 5 is also prime because 5 times 1 only goes into 5. So the only common factor that goes into both of those is 1, and that will just get me back to 3/5. So this is done and simplified, and my answer is 3/5.